Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to pass it over to our host, Chinny.
Hello, everyone, and happy 2021. This is our first activation event this year so far. I don't know about you, but I am so excited to see you all. I know that I have missed our collective energy this holiday season. So to start off, I'd like to pass it over to our Canadian activator, Stephanie Holko, for our land acknowledgement today. Stephanie, over to you. Are you with us, Stephanie? You may be on mute.
Hi, apologies.
No worries.
Okay, I'm gonna switch windows here and hopefully you can still hear me. Can you still hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. So my name's Stephanie, and the land that my family lives on, currently referred to as Burlington, Ontario, was and is home to many First Nations, including the Anishinaabe, to the Haudenosaunee, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Métis. Lands spanning from Lake Ontario to the Niagara Escarpment that are steeped in Indigenous history. The territory is mutually covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and other allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes, originating at least 800 years ago. Burlington specifically was purchased as part of the Brant Tract Treaty 8 in 1797 and given to Joseph Brant, also known as Tyendinaga, who was a Mohawk warrior who fought for the British in the American Revolutionary War. This was later contested and settled in 2010 in conjunction with the Toronto Purchase Claim. It's important to learn and appreciate the history of this land and to teach it to my children, so we don't think we are the culmination of society, but merely newcomers. In acknowledging the Indigenous peoples who were here for thousands of years before us and continue to reside here, we can understand our own humanity and the humanity of others more fully. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful land acknowledgement, Stephanie. And for those of you joining us for the first time, land acknowledgements are an important part for us at SheEO in terms of how we open these community calls, because it remains an important way for us to recognize and express gratitude to the Indigenous lands that we reside on. For us as settlers, for many of us as settlers, the act of performing this acknowledgement is truly just a basic and fundamental step that we can all take towards reconciliation between Indigenous peoples and settlers. And in the spirit of practicing this acknowledgement, we also love to pass the baton around. So if you are interested in sharing a land acknowledgement for your region for a future call, please just pop your name in the chat. I know it can be daunting if it's, you're thinking of doing it for the first time, but don't worry, there's an amazing team at SheEO to walk you through it. So just pop in your name and someone at the SheEO team will message you and follow up. So really quickly, I'm Chenny. I am the co-founder of Got Care, a home care company here in Canada that supports over 14,000 frontline workers. SheEO for me really is community, home. It's a place where I feel like I can just simply be myself and show up as my full authentic self. So I hope that you will be able to feel the same through the experience of our call together today. For our call today, you're going to be able to meet the SheEO community, experience the SheEO magic. It's also a hashtag if you want to share it on social after, and also just an opportunity to join the network as well. These public calls occur once a month and are a great opportunity for activators to also invite guests and for people who are new to SheEO to just learn what this is all about. Our usual weekly activator calls do follow a slightly different format than these global calls. So just as a FYI. So today we're going to hear and get inspired from SheEO founder Vicki Saunders. We're then going to hear from a venture, an activator, and we're going to move into the magical Ask Give breakouts that we always do, which is just an opportunity for you to share what you need help with and what you would like to offer. Then we're going to come back into the main room and close together. So to start off, we'd love to do a quick 1-minute check-in. There is going to be a link that Nat is going to share in the chat. Hit on that link. And the question is, how are you feeling right now? How are you doing today? All right, so we have some folks feeling ready and excited. Lots of excitement, super excited. Oh, I feel you there. Inspired already. Wow, look at that. Optimistic, sleepy, yes. Yes, I feel a little tired myself as well. Balanced, terrific, curious, oh, amazing. I love seeing this word cloud populate because it gets a sense of the collective energy that we have right now. Hopeful, we have grateful, optimistic, a little bit overwhelmed. Well, hopefully our breakouts will help with that a little bit today. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. All right, so with that, I would like, oh, and also just a quick reminder for those who are just joining, if you could also update your Zoom name to include A for activator, B for bench, or G for guest who are joining us for the first time, as well as just abbreviation for your country. That will help us a lot when we are doing the breakouts later. So to do that, you can just hover over your image on Zoom. There should be 3 little dots that come up and you can change it that way. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Vicki Saunders, founder of SheEO. Over to you, Vicki.
Thank you, Jenny. Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the why we're doing SheEO, the point of this whole thing. I'm not going to do too much explaining on how the model works. You can ask those questions in the breakouts or check out our website, and we'll also send some materials after, videos, etc. But I wanted to start with a bit of a reflection. I woke up this morning and I just scanned through the headlines like I'm sure a bunch of us do when we get up. And today, these are just some of the things that stuck out to me. A near total abortion ban in Poland. Hundreds of thousands of people in the streets. GameStop, for those who've been following the markets, gaining so much. I don't know if you've heard this story, but check it out after. It's just like the markets are being hacked in such a fascinating way right now, bottom up, where people are just gaming it. And so more than ever, it's just like a giant casino, and it's kind of crazy to watch when a system gets really out of balance, how these kinds of things show up in spades. And then for those who are maybe in the US and saw, there was a full page article in the New York Times, or a full page ad from Reshma, who runs Girls Who Code, asking for a Marshall Plan for the US government to recognize the disproportionate impact that COVID has had on women. And then I also thought, like, there's a nonprofit paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a one-page ad that's going into the hands of who? In order to try and get a message, like how crazy everything is. And then I flipped to my inbox and got another one of these like incessant things that I get all the time, which is based on comprehensive research. We have decided to feature you as one of the 10 most admired businesswomen to watch in 2021, ... for the low price of $1,000, right? This is like the new thing, get yourself on a list. You just pay for it. Used to be $4,000 last year, now it's $1,000. So, Anyway, I just wanted to share all of these things. To me are just like little bits of things synthesizing around how our models and our structures are so broken. We are in such a crazy time where every time I look around I see this disproportionate impact of COVID on women, racial injustice, climate crisis, massive inequality. Literally everything needs an upgrade. We need to rethink everything. And this happens all the time. If you sort of look back in history, which I've been studying a lot of lately, about every 400 years, we come to a fork in the road where our systems and our structures have sort of played out and it's not working, and we have to rethink things, and we have to question, what do we want to value? And so 400 years ago, we were at a fork in the road, and we decided to go with Adam Smith instead of Erasmus. And Adam Smith was all about self-interest. That's all that matters. And we decided that was the thing. Self-interest is the thing we're all going to focus on. Me over the others, winner takes all. That game is totally played out. Two dudes won. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, that's over. Now what? What are we going to do? So I think we're at this other fork in the road. And what we saw last year during COVID is as all of these structures started to come down and we started to see this emergence of a caring economy, the one that we're not paying that much attention to, that we really do need to pay attention to. We also saw that interest rates went down to almost zero and governments just started printing money. And so we're in a world right now where there's enough money to create whatever kind of world we want. Tons of money out there. And we just have to think about what kind of world we want. And we're a bit prescient as an organization because 5 years ago, we saw a lot of these systems that were failing and looked at what kind of world we wanted to create. And knowing that we have to think of the new world, we have to create the new world together. It's not going to happen if we stay in the mindset of the old world. And so we started to experiment with this model at SheEO where all of you come together and contribute a small amount of money each. It's pooled together and we invest it. We loan it out at 0% interest to women like Chenny, who's hosting our call today, who are reimagining what healthcare can look like, who are reimagining what education can look like with these new businesses. And so we're discovering through their leadership what a different kind of environment could be across all sectors. And we funded 73 ventures and about to be 95 ventures. We just finished voting in North America and in the UK. And so we're going to be announcing those 22 new ventures in the next couple of months. They're showing us what a new world can look like. And that's what part of this experience is. But also one of the things that we're doing together with all of the activators in this community who step in to create the new world together, we're discovering that we literally really do have everything that we need around us when we decide to gift what we have in abundance to each other. So I have insane number of connections and favors that people owe me. And I like to gift those to other people. I did 3 of those already this morning. Hey, would you introduce me to so-and-so? And I do it and boom. It's effortless for me. It fills me up because I feel like I'm being well used. And women across this whole community have different kinds of things that we can give. We believe everyone has something to give. And so we've organized SheEO with a spirit of radical generosity to come together and to get capital into the hands of 51% of the population who have like such a hard time raising money. 2.2% of funding goes to half the population. And I don't know, I have this crazy idea that maybe 51% of the population has some solutions for us. Why don't we try and fund them and see what they can come up with? So that's what we're doing here. But it's so much beyond just funding the ventures. We're all learning through this experience that we have everything that we need to create a new world. And the world is calling on all of us to be part of that. So welcome to this call. You're going to hear from a few ventures, activators, get into these breakout rooms, and I'm very glad that you're here. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vicki, for inspiring us with your message. One question came to my mind as you were sharing as well, which may be useful to ponder for those of us joining us for the first time, which is how might I change how I view the world and myself so that I can step into the most radically generous version of myself. As you were sharing that, Vicki, that just popped up in my mind. Anyway, something to chew on. And so speaking of our ventures, I wanted to introduce Kai Fraser, founder of SheEO US venture, Kai XR. Kai is an educator turned edtech entrepreneur who's super passionate about using technology to provide inclusive and accessible opportunities for underestimated communities. Again, another incredible woman changing the paradigm. Over to you, Kai.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'll say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As mentioned, my name is Kai Fraser, and I am the founder and CEO of Kai XR. We are the most inclusive and accessible 360 or VR platform where kids can explore, dream, and create. As a teacher, I was frustrated because we weren't preparing our students for the tech skills needed for the future. And that's what led me to create Kai XR, where kids can explore the world with our inclusive virtual field trips, and they can improve their tech skills by creating their very own VR adventures. So I want to start off by saying just shout out to Vicki and that, from my time in SheEO, I've noticed that all women groups are not created equal, and SheEO is the only women's group that I've ever felt supported. When I first became a venture last year and SheEO told me I would have to do executive coaching, I honestly was not enthused because every startup coach I've ever been assigned has been absolute garbage. So I have to just give all the props to my SheEO coach, Lauren. I've never been I've never been a CEO before, so I don't know what I'm doing half the time. And Lauren has helped me grow as a leader. She's coached me through some really difficult decisions, especially hiring. I've had to learn that being a CEO means making difficult decisions every single day. And she helps me see options I didn't even know were at my disposal. So I'm so thankful for her guidance over the year, and she's reset my expectations of what an executive coach can be. And it's really affected and changed my company for the better. My company now is turning the corner from intense development where we were in 2020, and now 2021 is scaling. And woo, it is super scary. Due to COVID, our most popular offering has been our AR and VR courses where we teach kids the basics of mixed reality using our KayXR platform. We found the quickest way to scale that offering is to partner with STEM or science organizations scrambling to find programming for students in this new era of Zoom. So before I get out, I like to end with an ask. If you know of a science center that offers online programming, I'd love to partner with them to teach students our courses using our platform. From after school programs to summer camps, our classes range from 1 day to 8 weeks, and they include a subscription to our platform that has over 100 plus teacher approved KayXR field trips. So I'll make sure I drop my contact information in the chat. A huge thank you to the SheEO squad for letting me address this amazing group of activators practicing radical generosity. And thanks everyone for your support. So I'll hand it right back over to you all. Thank you. Oh, I see you already dropped my contact information in there. Thank you. You all are the best. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Kai. Does anyone have any questions or comments? We just have a couple minutes here. I see a question here from Juliet. What is the target age range?
Sure. So we range from about 8 to 18. Kids who are a little bit younger, we don't have to put them in VR headsets, but we are mobile first. So they can watch our offerings on their smartphone, on a tablet, on a laptop. But usually our sweet spot is between 8 and 18. And we've also seen a big interest from seniors. So maybe I'll say 8 through 18 or 8 through 80. I don't know. But we take everyone.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And it looks like we have a few activators already who have lots of ideas in terms of people you can connect with. So yes, Kai's contact information, again, just to pop it again in the chat here, please send her a quick email at kai@kayxr.com. Thanks, everyone. With that, I also wanted to introduce our SheEO Canadian activator, Dana Deason, who's going to share some words as well.
Thanks, Jenny, so much. Hi, everybody. So I've been asked to speak a little bit more about my activator experience and really what did I have to overcome to be an activator. So my name's Dana. I've been an activator for about 1.5 years now. I started in October 2019. And when I think back to that time, it really came down to cost is the main hurdle I had to overcome. At $92 a month, at first it seemed like a lot. So then I stepped back and was like, okay, what will this bring to the SheEO network and to myself as well? So I took a strategic look at where I donate, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I get asks from people who are going for runs or whatever it might be, and $10 here, $20 here seems to add up quite a bit. So it wasn't strategic giving, whereas SheEO would be very strategic. When I thought about my values, I was also looking to support an organization that could do 3 things ideally. And those were really supporting sustainability in a broad sense. It was also supporting women and gender diverse people. And then also supporting alternative ways of getting stuff done. So exactly what Vicky was talking about, our world and our systems are very unequal right now, and we need to fix those and build alternative models. So instead of donating or giving to 3 different groups, SheEO could do all of that in one, which was really cool. And then finally, I'm all about people. So I love connecting with people, and ideally I wanted to connect with those I was supporting. I love building relationships with people. So I realized that with this giving, I could not only connect with the ventures, but I could also connect with women all over the world who were all like-minded and looking to make the world a better place. So all of those three things came together. And then once I decided to do it, it felt really right and really aligned with what I was trying to do in the world. And frankly, I could not have imagined just how loving and kind this community is. And so that's been a real joy for me since becoming an activator, and just all the awesome connections that I've been able to make with people across Canada and then also globally. So I will also, like with Kai, I can put my LinkedIn profile in the chat. I love, love, love connecting. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about either becoming an activator, or if you're already an activator and want to meet with me, happy to do that virtually. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for sharing, Dana. And like Rebecca, I love that you looked at it from a strategic perspective. Okay, so with that, we are now about to move into our breakout groups. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, just a little quick overview about how these groups work. So these groups will be an opportunity for you to connect with a smaller group from this call here and practice radical generosity through our Ask and Gives. So what's an ask? Really simply, it's what do you need help with? And a give is just something that's what support would you like to offer to others in your breakout? And for guests, this is also a great opportunity for you to ask any questions you might have about SheEO or activating broadly speaking as well. And so feel free to also share each other's contacts, emails, websites, whatever you're comfortable with in the chat to support each other. I know that personally, I've built some really incredible relationships from these breakouts, so I encourage you to do the same. And also at the end of these breakouts, we're going to come back together in about 25 minutes. Just come back prepared with a 3-word summary of your conversation and for someone to share that in the chat. All right, so with that, I'm going to pass it over back to Jessie, who's going to help us get into our breakouts.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Chenny. So as Chenny mentioned, we'll have 25 minutes in the breakout sessions, and one group is going to stay in this main room for access to the live captioning from Otter. So you'll see a link now to either join a breakout or stay in this main room. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good experience in your breakout groups. I will pass it back to Chenny.
Thank you, Jessie. All right, I hope that everyone enjoyed that. I know that it certainly always feels really fast. If you don't mind sharing the 3 words from your group in the chat in terms of how that experience was for you, please pop it in there so that we can all see how it was. So looks like we have a lot of energy, inspiration, balance, and community. That was fast, yes. I think that's the #1 quote from every breakout ever. Supported, cutting edge, compassionate, magic. Ooh, actually, Dali, do you want to share a little bit more about the reason for the word magic?
Yes, because as many of the activators or people who've been part of SheEO for a while, they will know that we have this phrase called SheEO magic. And without fail, every week in the breakout rooms, the people who you end up with, the universe is doing something, and we experience a spark of SheEO magic. So today we had somebody talking about wanting to go into being an urban mushroom farmer, and then we had somebody else like B saying, hey, I already have contacts, and we are also doing similar work with mushroom farming, and they are connected, and eyes lit up, and this was SheEO magic.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, looks like we also have global. Yes, I know. I felt the global presence as well. We had so many women from so many countries. Amazing. Thank you all. So I'd also like to pass it over to Lisa Burchardt, who's also a SheEO activator, who also has an ask for the community as well. So Lisa, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And I do have an ask, and it is to really encourage each and every one of you to consider being part of this community and reactivating or becoming a first-time activator today. What you've experienced today is just really a sample of the magic that we create together on a week-to-week basis. And it has become, since I activated in March of last year, such a source of groundedness and inspiration. It was really, I think, for me, an answer to what I was wanting to create in my own life, but didn't have the network, the structure, and the learning and the education. And so, you know, this is really what the weekly calls have brought into my own life. It has been a source of deep inspiration and just a willingness and a way to actually get involved at a more meaningful level, an opportunity to use both my professional and my deeper longing in a meaningful way. And it's provided me with that structure. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you. For me, it has been the best, you know, $92 Canadian a month I've ever spent. And as a professional, you know, coach and facilitator, it's actually saved me a whole ton of money because I've been able to like drop a lot of the other things that I was doing. The coaching calls with MJ, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you in the group setting what they've opened up for me. And there is always a way, you know, if you're feeling really called and you're wanting to experience more of this, it is just such a wholehearted, beautiful, open community. And it's one of these situations where we have this opportunity to support our ventures and to support one another in such a meaningful way. So I want to just say thank you so much, Jenny and everybody for being here today. It's just so rich. And Vicky, you just inspire us each and every day with synthesizing what's happening and just giving us a way forward together. So thank you again.
Thank you for sharing, Lisa. I also wanted to pass it over to Jessie as well, who has some closing remarks for us.
Thank you, Jenny. So we'd love to launch, if you're interested in getting involved with the SheEO community, especially for all of our radically generous guests on the call, we'd love to hear about how you might like to participate. So I've just launched a Zoom poll. You should see a little pop-up in your Zoom. The first question is, how would you like to participate? We'd love to hear if you're interested in becoming an activator for the first time or reactivating. Did you meet women you'd like to keep in touch with on today's call, perhaps in your breakout group? And for guests who are interested in activating but might like to connect one-on-one with an existing activator, such as Dana or Lisa or Chenny, to ask any questions you may have, let us know if you're interested and we can get that set up for you. In the meantime, also wanted to show you, very exciting, we just launched a new payment platform. So wanted to give you a preview of what it looks like when you activate, and Nat's going to drop the link in the chat for you as well. So this is new to SheEO. So when you become an activator, our new payment platform, you'll select your country, your region. Note that you don't necessarily need to live in that country to be a UK activator. So for example, in the UK, we have lots of activators from France, the Netherlands, Dubai, including Stephanie on today's call, etc. And then so you'll select your payment method. So whether it's monthly payments or annual, and a one-time $1,100, and then you'll just enter your payment information and set up your activator profile, and then that's it. And as soon as you activate, you will immediately gain access to this incredible community. Radical generosity is what we're here for. And you can start participating in weekly activator calls. We have an online community, an ask and give platform where, just like in our breakouts today, we encourage all women in the community to ask for help and to offer our support to each other in a safe space. So encourage you to activate. Thank you for joining our call today. And two final things. So if you've been on one of these calls before, you know what's to come. The first is that we'd love to hear your feedback on today's event. Nat's going to drop a link in the chat for our event feedback form. It'll just take a minute or two. We'd love to hear how it was for you and if you have any suggestions on how we might improve next time. And the second is we'd love to take a group photo so we can, like Jenny has mentioned, use our hashtag SheEO Magic and share the experience that we all had today out loud on LinkedIn and social media. So I'm going to go to gallery view. And so if you, we invite everyone to share a pose with how you're feeling in this moment. How does radical generosity and SheEO magic have you feeling? Oftentimes we might throw up our arms, or I love Claudia's beautiful bouquet of flowers if you happen to have one on hand, some hearts. And it looks like we'll have 4 photos here. So on the count of 3, if everyone's ready. 1, 2, 3. Gotta get the names. Okay, if you're on the second screen, if we could actually pause the music for a second. If you're on the second screen, 1, 2, 3. And the third screen, keep those arms up. 1, 2, 3. And the fourth screen, Melissa, Leslie, Kelly, you are on this screen. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. I will pass it back to Jenny.
Thank you everyone for coming with your open heart and your open mind. Really appreciate your energy today. Jessie is going to post the summary of this call on LinkedIn. Look out for it, tag your friends, invite anyone to our next call who would like to check out SheEO. And as an activator, again, I would really encourage you on the call to activate if this is the kind of community you're looking for. Truly is $92 a month for access to a community like this. Thanks all for joining, and we will see you next time. We'll end with a closing song now.
You're broken down and tired.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day / evening. Bye now.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.